Morning to all our attendees and some of our speakers across Europe on this beautiful Monday morning. Although our colleague in Germany says it's snowing today. I hope that you're all keeping safe and well. My name is Shantanu Mehta, and I'm the business head for Orient Tours, the DMC in the UAE and Oman since 1982. On behalf of all my colleagues here in the UAE and our representatives in Germany, Holland, and Spain, I say, herzlich willkommen, welcome, bienvenidos, to the first webinar of Orient Tours. I'm sure there will be many more to follow, and we look forward to seeing you with us each time. With the World Expo 2020 in Dubai less than 6 months away now, we thought this was the right time for us to talk in a little bit of detail about what to expect from the greatest show on earth. So today we bring you a distinguished panel of speakers who represent Expo 2020 Dubai, the Dutch pavilion at the Expo, the Spanish pavilion at the Expo, UAE's luxury hospitality chain Address Hotels and Resorts, along with their cool and funky sister brand Rove Hotels. And finally, for those of you who have not partnered with us, we will showcase how Orient Tours can help you plan your visits to for you and your guests to the Expo and beyond. But first, it is my honor to introduce Mr. Asim Arshad, Group CEO of the Orient Group of Companies. Please welcome Mr. Arshad all the way from Toronto, Canada. Mr. Arshad.
Thank you, Shantanu. Thank you very much. A very warm welcome to all of you on behalf of our President, His Excellency Sheikh Faisal bin Khalid Al Qasmi, who unfortunately couldn't join us today. I would definitely like to say something about Sheikh Faisal because he's a man who has pioneered the concept of tourism into the region, a man who was much ahead of his time, a man who's been visionary. When he set up Orient Tours in 1978, little did anybody know that tourism would grow so leaps and bounds in the UAE, and UAE would become one of the hottest destinations all over the globe. Sheikh Faisal, for his effort, was conferred the World Travel Award at Earl's Court, London, for his pioneering efforts in the field of tourism in the UAE. So once again, a big welcome on behalf of our President, His Excellency Sheikh Faisal Al Qasmi. I'm personally very grateful to Barbara Berv today, who's here representing us from Germany, Ines Rosca representing Holland and Belgium, Jody Dosta representing Spain and Portugal, and Sarah, our Product and Business Development Manager, for their hard work in putting this webinar together. We are highly appreciative of our partner agents across Europe who have given us their valuable time to attend this webinar. And a very, very warm welcome to the many attendees who are new to Orient Tours and are curious to know about Expo 2020 Dubai. We hope that we'll be able to meet your expectations. Last but not the least, a huge vote of thanks to our valued partner, stakeholders, Expo 2020 Dubai, the Dutch and Spanish pavilions at Expo 2020, and UAE's leading lifestyle luxury brands, the Address Hotels and Resorts and Rove Hotels, for their participation, without whom this seminar would not have been possible. We hope this is the first of many such educational seminars and webinars that we are planning to come in the run-up to the opening of Expo 2020 in Dubai. Orient Tours, a name that has been synonymous with tourism and travel. The Orient brand, Orient Travel, the travel part was established in 1963, and to be precise, 9 years before the country was federated. So we go a long, long way back. And when Orient Tours was being set up by Sheikh Faisal in 1978, tourism, as I mentioned, was absolutely an unknown commodity in the region. As a matter of fact, it'll be interesting for you to know that when we started this operation, we used to just function 2 months in the entire year because every other month we felt it was too hot. I personally have witnessed this because I have been with the organization for over 40 years. So I've seen the establishment and growth of this lovely organization. We are a world-class personalized service, very innovative, and the first DMC to create an in-house guide training program, one of the first DMCs to launch off-road desert safaris, one of the first DMCs to use only licensed guides and professional trained off-road drivers. We are a highly rewarded and awarded DMC for the consistent quality of our tour operators and the afternoon desert safaris, with 15 World Travel Awards in our bag in the last 1 decade. It all comes down to taking care of your employees, who create and translate this into a warm, friendly, yet professional service and a very high percentage of return guests over the years. Finally, this is just the beginning of a wonderful relationship. We have once in a lifetime opportunity to showcase Expo 2020, billed as the greatest show on earth, to our valued guests, and we do hope that all of you attending today will take full advantage of partnering with Orient Tours, a reseller for Expo 2020 tickets, to build unique and interesting itineraries, not only to visit Dubai, but the UAE and the neighboring Arabian Gulf countries during Asia and the Middle East's first and only Expo to date. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the webinar, and now I'll hand the mic over back to Shantanu, my colleague. Thank you.
Thank you for that information on Orient Tours and on His Excellency Sheikh Faisal, Mr. Hassan. And thank you very much for making time at 4 o'clock in the morning to join us on this call live. We really appreciate your assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted now to welcome our first main speaker for the event, Mark Grosfield, representing Expo 2020 Dubai. Mark is Senior Manager of International B2B Sales at Expo 2020 Dubai and comes to the desert from the green fields of Visit Britain. He is responsible for driving visitation from the key markets of UK and Europe. Welcome, Mark. You have the floor.
Hello, good morning, everyone. First and foremost, thank you to Shantanu and the Orient Tours team for giving me this opportunity today to speak about Expo. And I'm delighted that we've got such a great attendance on the call today. So I've got a short presentation, which in fact will just cover about 15 minutes. And then shortly afterwards, we'll be then having the opportunity to do a Q&A session. Shantanu, will a presentation now be showcased on the screen? Will you bring up the presentation, please?
Sure.
Fantastic.
My colleague will play the presentation.
Wonderful. So for a lot of people on this call today, just some key takeaways. The one biggest takeaway is, of course, Expo is actually happening this year. So in just under 6 months, we're opening our doors. So on the 1st of October, 2020 is officially the date when we will be launching the event, and it will be a 6-month spectacle running all the way up until the 31st of March 2022. Fantastic. Wonderful. I think we're just getting the presentation up now. So for those that aren't familiar with the Expo and in terms of its location, it's in a new area called Dubai South, and it's actually about 15 minutes from DWC. And to give you some more context, it's about a 20-minute journey or 15-minute journey to the Dubai Marina. It's actually very centrally located between Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So from DXB Airport, it will take you about 14 minutes to get to the Expo site. And then, of course, it will take an hour or so to Abu Dhabi. So it's very convenient for those visitors that are coming both to the destination from Dubai and from Abu Dhabi. So many presentations to do today. Fantastic. We've got the right one. So I think I've just got about 15 minutes, so I'm going to be as quick as I can. I always like to start off my presentation with a really strong, compelling video. So here's a quick teaser in terms of what to expect. I'm not sure if everyone got the full audio experience, but nonetheless, the visuals hopefully gave you a good indication in terms of what the event is all about. And just to give you some context in terms of what is an expo, for a lot of you, you may have already attended previous expos in the past, but for the majority, it may be a new attraction. So the first one actually took place in 1851. So they've been going on for a very long time, and they take place every 5 years, in fact. They're similar in scale and size of other mega events. In fact, they're actually bigger than the Olympics and the FIFA World Cup. And the unique thing about expos are that they last for a much longer period. So this particular expo, or expos in general, last for 6 months. So it's a rather long event, but it's a great event to keep coming back to more than once. And of course, expos are all about showcasing the very best of each country in terms of what they have to offer. They're very famous and synonymous with unveiling technology. And you can see there from some of the images, we've unveiled technology around robotics, the typewriter, even the TV. So I'm sure at this particular expo, you'll get to see some really amazing things for the very first time. If we can just go on to the next slide. So what makes this expo so unique in comparison to all the other ones that took place? So in fact, this is the first World Expo to ever be held in this particular region. So it's never been held in the Middle East, South Asia, or Africa region. We actually have a world record participation. So we've got over 200 participants that are coming. This is, of course, a great opportunity to view and see the place, to see the world in one place. So you can go to Argentina one day, you can go to Morocco the next, all the way to Mexico, to Norway, all in one location. So I think particularly now in this pandemic, it's a great proposition to your clients to push all these amazing countries in one destination. I mentioned this earlier, but it's not a 2-week event, it's a 6-month spectacle. So for 180 days, we'll be having some amazing programming. Each day is completely different. And of course, we will be really publicizing and amplifying this. And with the help of the media, we have around 20,000 international media that will be actually based at the Expo site, providing coverage. So this includes the CNNs, the BBCs of the world. So you'll see a lot of coverage in due course. If we can go on to the next slide, please. So what we've actually done for the very first time, we've actually opened it up for a premiere. So from the January up until literally last week, we gave the general public an opportunity to come to the Expo site. So we opened up our sustainability pavilion, which you can see in the image there, which is a really futuristic, sustainable architectural building using solar energy to fuel it. So we've actually, we're ahead of the curve in terms of a destination recovery. We already had a lot of visitation come to the site, and we're already working very closely with the Dubai health authorities in terms of the health and safety measures. These are some great pictures just to illustrate some of the visuals of the site. I'm sure you can all agree it looks stunning. Some of the images at the bottom are actually designed by set designers from Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Trek. So when you come to the site, you'll get to see some really, really novel, amazing visual exhibitions. If we can just move on to the next slide. I was just mentioning this earlier, and I'm sure Orient Tours and the other stakeholders will go on to talk about this, but Dubai, of course, is leading in terms of its health and safety initiatives, and particularly around its vaccinations. So the destination is very much ready to welcome, visitors and guests. And of course, Expo will be doing the same in terms of all of its health and safety precautions. So from social distancing to various other venue restriction measures. So what can you actually see at the Expo? So we have 192 days, or 82 days, in fact, of amazing programming. I often struggle to fit it all into one sentence because there's just so much going on. Just to give you a perspective of how big the site is, it's actually 600 football stadiums. That's how big the site is. And in fact, it's around double the size of Monaco. So when you come to the Expo, you really cannot do it in one day. You have to come back more than once to really get the full visitor experience, because we have 60 live events happening every day. It could be headline performances from celebrities such as, K-pop stars to Bollywood. It could be opera, it could be classical ballet. We literally have something for everyone. And of course, there's other things around food. I mean, food is a huge programming. We will have 200 F&B experiences, from Michelin star chefs to virtual dining experiences, to even drones and robotics experiences. So there will be a really futuristic experience around food and gastronomy. And of course, technology is very important. Expos are all about showcasing technology, so you'll get to see some amazing things there. So what we have here is actually some special days which we've showcased in the past, and we will be pushing to some of the trade to package. So we have special days around Christmas, Diwali, New Year's, and this is, you know, of course, where we will be doing a special big show on the site on these days for visitors to come and enjoy. If you move on to the next slide. Fantastic. In addition to these special days, we also have what we call thematic weeks. So particularly for, say, the MICE industry or a particular business or corporate, they may be interested in coming around a particular theme. So if it's around sustainability week, or if it's around, you know, a particular topic, they can then, of course, tailor their trip to fit these days. And we also have what we have, what I call international days. So this is all these various different days that we are working with the United Nations on, and we will also be having a National Day celebration. So each of the 192 countries that are participating at the Expo get their own very own National Day celebration. So in for the likes of Brazil, for example, they will have their own National Day celebration, and perhaps maybe they will be replicating the Rio Carnival Festival. So you can come to the site and get to experience what Brazil is for a day. If we move on to the next slide, please. Fantastic. So this is actually just a showcase of some of the country pavilions. And for me personally, the country pavilions are really what makes Expo so special and bespoke. And these pavilions have been designed by leading architects, you know, from around the world, from the Fosters and Partners to the Santiago Calatrava's. I mean, these architects have designed the Valencia Opera House, they've designed Apple's HQ, the Eden Project in the UK, among many other things. And they're a huge spectacle. Even taking into account a pavilion that is one of my favorites, which is actually the Switzerland Pavilion. When you go inside the pavilion, it's as if you're actually going up the Swiss Alps. So you have a really sort of altitude experience. You get to see the mountains in the mist. So it's not just the actual architecture, it's the visitor experience once you get inside. If we move on to the next slide, please. So I'm sure, I mean, on the call today, I believe we've got a lot of German travel trade, as well as some potential MICE buyers. For you, for your benefit, I mean, the German pavilion will be one of the largest on the site. It's actually a 3-story building, and it's all around the theme of Campus Germany, and they're exploring different sort of areas around energy, the future of cities, as well as biodiversity. And in addition to the German pavilion, Germany will also be having a second pavilion. So they're the only country to have 2 pavilions at the Expo, and that will be under Baden-Württemberg. So that's quite a unique proposition. If we move on to the next slide, please. Of course, Belgium, a lot of you are on the call from Belgium today. So Belgium are going to be promoting all around their smart and green initiatives, very much in line with their 2050 initiative. And the whole pavilion itself is actually covered by around 10,000 plants, which actually fuel the energy to sustain the pavilion. And of course, who wouldn't go to the Belgian pavilion to experience the fries? So the fries and all the amazing gastronomic experiences that Belgium has to offer will be one of the key highlights, no doubt. We move on to the next slide. We've actually got the Netherlands pavilion, but I'm actually not going to really go into too much details because we have Niels Boeman on the call today, which is, of course, the director for the Dutch pavilion, who will go into a lot more detail, I'm sure. But of course, this is going to be one of the unique ones, and they've got a really interesting vertical farm proposition, which I'm sure he'll talk about later. And of course, last but no means least, we have the Spanish pavilion. And again, we're very privileged to have Cristina Ordinas come on today's call, and she'll be speaking a little bit more about this. But the interesting thing about this pavilion is really their old age technique in terms of how they built the pavilions using all these various different methodologies. So just a bit of a short and sweet showcase of the pavilions. But as I say, we have 192 of them, so you can't miss out. There's going to be something for everyone. So what's interesting in terms of a business opportunity? Of course, we've got all the amazing leisure programming, from the headline acts, from the food, but we've also got a very compelling business proposition. So if we move on to the next slide, I'll talk about some of the MICE opportunities. I think I've got about 5 minutes. I'm going to whiz through this quite quickly. If we go on to the next slide, please. Fantastic, great. So what can you actually do at the Expo site? So very much we're looking at how we can drive some incentive groups. So we have team building activities around treasure hunts through the 192 countries. We have technology-based team activities. There'll be something literally for everyone. So we can work with you to build a program for an incentive group. That it could be around business related activities, potentially visiting some of the TED Talks and conferences. We're reaching out to all the big thought leadership speakers, some of the big business communities. I mean, even the likes of Elon Musk, Bill Gates. We're trying to see who we can bring to come and talk about various different topics. And of course, we have amazing venues around social. So there'll be some venues where you can actually host some gala dinners, some receptions, some F&B component. And we have 2 venues on the site, which would be great for all of this. And I'd just like to show them if we move on to the next slide. So we actually have our Dubai Exhibition Center, which is our purely MICE venue, which is a great space. It's a 45,000 square meter space. It's got a variety of different functional rooms and meeting rooms that you can host your conferences or your meetings. But we also have our 2020 Club by Emaar, which is actually the only, Emaar is in fact our hospitality partner and the only hotel on the site. So it's a 4-star category, and I'm sure Bernie will talk about it a little bit later on in the presentation. But these are just some of the possible venues. If we move swiftly on. So we've actually done a lot of the hard work. We've created some itineraries. So if you're going out and trying to pitch this to your clients, we've created these indicative journeys. So if there's a specific business that you're trying to pitch Expo to, we've created a journey around architecture. We've created it around tech. We've created it around sustainability. So if you're looking at an automobile company, perhaps maybe the mobility journey would be relevant. So as I say, we've done all the hard work, and all these amazing itineraries can be shared with you after this presentation, and we'll get Orient Tours to share this with you. And we've done this across leisure segment, we've done it across business, and we've also done it for education. So if you're a school or university, you can actually have a specific journey tailored around that. And this just shows some of the highlights. This is actually a visual in terms of what it would look like. But we can skip this because of I'm running out of time, I believe. I tend to talk too long, so I'll try and be as quick as I can. If we move on to the next slides.
Mark, I think you can take a couple of extra minutes if you need them.
Okay, wonderful. So besides the itineraries and all the presentations that we have, we also, of course, working with Orient Tours in order to become an authorized ticket reseller. So you can actually buy the ticket from them. But we will provide all the backup in terms of the marketing material to help you push this. And my final slide now is actually the end of Expo. So after March 31st, 2022, apologies, what is actually happening to the site? So the site actually turns into what we call District 2020. So it's part of the legacy. And as part of that, the site will be mixed use. It will be a residential, but it will also be a center of excellence for businesses. So there'll be a startup community. A lot of the companies have actually confirmed that they're moving their operations there. Siemens is one of them. They've confirmed that they're moving their global logistics hub to the site. And as well, some of the infrastructure will be preserved. So some of the country pavilions will actually maintain their pavilion after March 31st, 2022. So if we go on to the next slide, you'll get to see some of that there. So yeah, as I say, some of the infrastructure will be turned into a legacy phase. So sustainability will be turned into a science museum. Al Wasl, which is our major events venue right at the heart of Expo, will continue to be an event space for future programming. So this is actually the legacy that will live on. So although Expo ends next year, District 2020 will remain, and it will be a new part of Dubai and a new area for Dubai. And now I think that is the end of the presentation. If we just jump onto the next slide, that is it. So I think you probably all have a lot of questions, and I'm very much looking forward to answering them all in this Q&A. And I'll hand it over to Shantanu for the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark. That was absolutely fascinating. I think you've held back a little bit of information in the run up to the webinar, because I was quite taken in with some of the information you've given us today. We've just got one video to play for the Sustainability Pavilion that opened for a brief while last month. So, Wally, can we have the video?
Hi, my name is Sue, and I'm going to take you on a special preview of Terra, the Sustainability Pavilion. Whether you're an eco-warrior who cares about your carbon footprint or just curious about what you can do to make a positive impact on planet Earth, you have come to the right place. Before we go in, let me tell you about the architecture of this one-of-a-kind building in the wall. Terra is shaped like a tree. This magnificent building you see behind me is covered by over 1,000 solar panels and can generate its own electricity and water. The top of these solar trees you see next to me rotate throughout the day to follow the sun's position, ensuring it's maximizing the capture of solar energy all through the day. Now, let's take a look at what this phenomenal structure holds inside. As we head towards the inside of the building, we walk through an Arabian wadi where cheetahs and mega elephants once roamed. Once you make your way inside, you can choose to take a journey under the ocean or under the forest, or even both. Let us take a look together. This is Under the Ocean Journey, where all visitors will be able to learn about different forms of marine life, their importance, as well as interesting facts about them, all while moving through beautiful installations depicting life under the oceans. This exhibition is very interactive and fun. Have a look at me clapping my hands and simulating whale sounds as they travel through the ocean. The Under the Forest journey will let you experience what takes place under the soil. Did you know that trees can talk to each other through their roots? Take this sensational immersive experience and learn how our planet communicates in the most exceptional ways. Once the journeys are complete, you may be inspired to change your ways. The Lab of Future Values will help you make decisions that will have a positive impact on our planet. From consuming less, to chucking away the plastic water bottle, turning off the lights, to not using a straw at your next restaurant outing. What you saw in Terra is just a drop in the ocean. There is so much more in store for visitors when Expo opens its doors in October, including the iconic Mobility and Opportunity Pavilions and over 190 country pavilions. Thank you for joining us today for this virtual tour. For more exciting news and Expo updates, please make sure to visit the Expo2020 website.
Thank you very much for that, Mark. That was amazing, impressive. Moving on. Today, we have a lot of partners who are attending from the Netherlands. So we are really fortunate that we have with us Niels Bowman, Director of the Dutch Pavilion at Expo 2020. Welcome, Niels. Thank you for joining us. I'm sure it's not only the Dutch guests, but all of us are very curious to learn more about what the Dutch Pavilion has in store for us. Niels?
Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Could you please share my presentation? So good morning, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Niels Bouwman. I'm the director of the Dutch Pavilion, based in Dubai since January 2020. So I'm lucky, sunshine, less COVID. So I don't want to spoil your time. We as Dutch government have chosen the slogan Uniting Water, Energy and Food, not only for the Expo, but also for the coming 5 to 10 years to help the GCC region in order to get their own, produce their own water, produce their own energy, and prepare their own food. Next slide, please. Next, please. We are part of the sustainability district. So we are facing the sustainability pavilion you have just seen. We are close to Spain, so almost neighbors. And why did we choose to take the sustainability plot? it's more like, I think the Netherlands is really keen on providing sustainable solutions to the world. It's not only about the techniques, but also about how do they do it. So share knowledge, share experiences, and all the stuff like that. Next, please. As the Netherlands, what I just told you, we have chosen the way to the Expo, and the way after the Expo to use the uniting water, energy, and food. And I will show you in a couple of minutes, a couple of slides, some more. How do we take the uniting water, energy, food part into the Dutch pavilion? Next, please. This is the facade of our pavilion. The pavilion is made out of sustainable products. So you see here sheet piles. Sheet piles, normally you see them in the dredging industry into the earth. We use it as, call it, walls above the soil. And we are to don't give any big footprints to the world. We asked the architect to come over with a proposal to send only one big container from the Netherlands to Dubai, and the rest of the materials we will source locally. So locally is GCC. So there is no impact of transportation and things like that. We have started together with the architect to see and to move to a sort of biotope. So not setting and producing and constructing a pavilion for 6 months. It's not a pavilion, it's a biotope. So we will produce our own, harvest our own water from the air. We produce our own energy, and we will showcase you as well as in a vertical farming way, how do you produce your own food? So it's a sort of circle. So it's not only a pavilion, it's a biotope. So you can see and create awareness as well what people can expect. We have two entrances, one for the daily visitor. You will go zigzag downstairs. It will be -5 meters. It will be cold, it will be chilly. We show you over there a movie of the innovations of the Netherlands since the last decennia. Afterwards, you will get an umbrella. You go into our food cone. Inside the food cone, we produce our own mushrooms, and you will get an umbrella as well, because the umbrella is not only for against the rain, it's also as a sort of screen. So we showcase in a sort of animatic movie, how do we as the Netherlands and also in our pavilion unite water, energy, and food. So we will show a video on the umbrella, and the umbrella is your screen as well. And of course, we will see and showcase some rain in that part. Next slide, please. Just discussed this. It's about our biotope. So next slide, please. What we will do, we will make our own biotope. It's made of all sustainable products. People from the Netherlands, maybe you're familiar with the Central Station in Amsterdam or these kind of setups. That's what we try to showcase as well. Next slide, please. About the flow of the pavilion, as I told you, with two entrances. We have the daily visitor, the zigzag entrance downstairs, the food cone, and after the food cone you will get some time to taste the cress we produce on the outside of the food cone, the cress part of a corporate cress from the Netherlands. We have our own restaurant, takeaway restaurant, and we have our show. However, we have for the VIP visitors, we have an auditorium which can host events for 100 people. And we have our own business lounge, which can host events till 150 people for dinners or receptions or workshops in this parlor as well. We will, what I told you, produce our own mushrooms. We will produce our own eatable plants and cresses inside the cone and inside our pavilion. So again, it's uniting water, energy, and food. So it's a link between all the stuff like that. It's the part of the pavilion is a lot of Dutch innovations, like the vertical farming part. It's about the sustainable plants. It's about sustainable innovations. We like to showcase in our pavilion to the daily visitors, but also to the business visitors. So if you have groups or special people who would like to get more information, not the call it the standard experience, we are happy to welcome you and have a private tour with a small group through the pavilion, also to the back of the house pavilion. Next slide, please.
Niels, there's one question for you. How much time do you need to experience the whole Dutch pavilion in the best way? One of the attendees asked.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the question. It's
yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we agreed to have all the Expo related questions at the end of the Expo presentation. So shall we just finish the presentation first? We've got Christina coming up with the Spanish pavilion, and then we'll take all the questions for the Expo.
Okay, thank you. But it will be less than 20 minutes. Next slide, please. Here you can see for the call it technical people that how do we extract water from the air? It's a Dutch innovation. How we filter that water and use it as for the irrigation system, but also to flush the toilets and have a closed circle of the water apart. What I told you, we will produce our own eatable plants and create our own energy with Dutch innovation as well. Next slide, please. This is if you enter the building, through the business/VIP entrance. So you will see the food cone on your right side, and just in front of you is the VIP/business lounge. Next slide, please. This is a mock-up of the business lounge with a bar, and of course we can make it as a different setup. The entrance, the zigzag for the daily visitors. Next, please. And this is if we are in the middle of the cone and looking up. Without any mushrooms, without any vegetables and things like that. And this is the outside. And I'm still looking for somebody who will harvest the vegetables. So if you are interested, feel free. This is part of the restaurant downstairs. It's a sort of a takeaway restaurant. And also sustainable and biological food and drinks. And this is again the business lounge. Important, I know for the Dutch, for the Belgian people, and also for the German people, we have an alcohol license, so we can serve alcohol in the business lounge for events and receptions and things like that. One of my colleagues who are harvesting the vegetables. And this is again the facade, and we will use the vertical farming part and also the lighting of Signify called Philips lighting to have a nice color. And this is the current situation. Since last week, we tried to finalize the whole construction, all the interiors by the 1st of July. There are now 120 people, 6 days a week on site to do all the construction work. Thank you for your time. And I'm happy to welcome you yourself, but also your guests and clients, the Dutch Pavilion. Thank you.
Thank you, Niels. That was a very interesting presentation. I can already see comments coming in from some of our Dutch guests. They found it very interesting. Quite amazing, actually. Moving on to the Spanish pavilion now. Our next speaker is Cristina Ordonez. She represents the Spanish Pavilion at Expo 2020. Bienvenidos, Cristina. Cristina is responsible for international affairs and fundraising at ACE, the government agency in Spain that orchestrates public support for the promotion of culture, both in Spain and overseas. Once again, we are lucky to have her here today because we have a large number of guests from Portugal and Spain who can't wait to learn more about what Spain plans to offer visitors to the Expo. Cristina?
Hello. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be joining you today. Thank you very much, Shantalu, and the rest of the attendees, Expo. And I'm very proud that you've chosen the Spain Pavilion for showcasing here in your first webinar. I will share my presentation myself. Can you see it? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, we are a government company called Acción Cultural Española. So we've been preparing the participation of Spain in the universal and international exhibitions that Mark explained before, the difference. We've been doing it in the last 15 years, so we can have a bit of a leverage from one expo to the other. And from here, we want really to thank and appreciate the efforts that Expo 2020 is doing, and this exercise of alliances between countries and corporates, it's been great. The Spain Pavilion, we are trying to bring some color to the Expo as we are a colorful country, and as well we want to be highlighting our passion and the way we are in Spain within all these iron and futuristic approaches that they're being showcasing in the Expo. We have a strategic location within the Sustainability Pavilion. As I've said, we've been quite a few years in the Expo's world, so we tried to choose a plot that gave us some visibility, and I think we made it. We are very close to Holland, and we are between German, with the German campus, and New Zealand pavilions that are two countries that they do great in Expos, and we are quite close to also the Alguazal Square that is going to be the heart of the Expo. Regarding our pavilion, we try to work with some iconic force. We try to conciliate and to give our hand to the Arabic world and to the country where we are presenting, and we also wanted to bring some sustainability. We made a square like in Spain, like in the Emirates. We live through our squares. We got a square where people can walk around. And we made these conical volumes that work to temper the climate and cool down the public space. So we will also work in the circular economy, and as the Expo is doing a great job on that, we're trying to work in our second life because we want to give some legacy with this pavilion. Pavilion was made by a Spanish architecture team that is called Aman Canavas Amaluri, and in their own words, they tried to interweave the Arab and Spanish world in a cool space, protected from the sun, while offering a powerful and recognizable image that I think we are really making it what people around there that are visiting the Expo already, they say, hey, we see your colors throughout the whole Expo. So we are making our efforts, yeah. Here you can understand that the square, we will have all the public areas. We'll have the press room, we'll have a VIP room, we have a multi-purpose room where our Spanish corporates and different institutions are organizing activities. We'll also have an outdoor stage. We'll have a restaurant that we are closing it now because we know that gastronomy is super important in the universal exhibitions, and we are working to have a Spanish chef in the Expo. We'll also have our tapas bar that it's always very popular, and we'll also have a chill out area. And finally, we'll have a shop that we are working with Spanish institutions called the leading brands of Spain. That it's a public organization that helps Spanish companies to go abroad international, and we are bringing the best from Spain in our shop so people can take it home. We have the square that I explained that you can walk freely, but we'll have an atrium that we will, the biggest cone will have, you can go down, and then our exhibition will be under the floor in a subterranean area where we have a theater and we have an exhibition gallery. Okay. The motto Spain has chosen for this expo, after making many meetings and seeing what can we bring from Spain to the expo, it's Spain Intelligence for Life. We really think that we want to show our capacity for innovation, we want to show our resourcefulness and the way we drive to preserve a good quality of life on the planet and also on our lives and for the future generations. We are touching millions of topics. We're touching sustainability, of course, Al-Andalus, sustainable agriculture, healthy diet, biodiversity, the video games, we're a big market for that, the Spanish as a language, our gastronomy, SDGs, sports, the future, how can work in respect and genetic visibility, architecture, artists, globalization, resourcefulness. In the square, we are trying to show some flashes. There will be, we'll talk about the chess because it's the legacy of Spain. It's also legacy from the Arab world, and it's really a super interesting tool for education. We are preparing the first online tournament for kids that it's happening now online, and the final will be physically in the expo. We are also talking about joining continents with the exploration of Magallanes, that is that showcase that the world was round. We also want to talk about Al-Andalus and explore intelligence. When we go down in the pavilion, one of the very interesting things is that we are starting with, we go down here and we'll go to a theater where we'll have a film. So there won't be huge queues. After 15 years working the expo, we've managed that there is no queue that can resist 3 hours waiting to visit anything. So we will have a machine, so you can get a ticket in the morning. You go there, you get a ticket, say, okay, I have the slot for 3 p.m. So you come back when it's your time, and you can visit nicely the pavilion. We'll have this super inspiring, interesting interactive work by Daniel Canovar showing that Spain is tradition, but Spain is also innovation. And you'll go down like if you were in the Guggenheim Museum in New York. So you get to know, you've seen what Spain is in traditions, but you get to know what Spain is also in innovation and in the future and with natural resources and all that. Then you'll get in the theater, because the other thing we've learned in the last expos is that people are super tired. They don't want to read. They want the message to be thrown to them. So we'll have a film with a very well-known film director that it will last 7 minutes. So people can just jump in the theater and relax and just learn what Spain is. It's going to be a short film. It's not going to be like an ad of Spain, but you can be relaxed because the message will get to you. You don't have to be reading or whatever. It will be called the film Luna de Agosto by the film director Nacho Vigalondo, and it's being recorded current now. It's starting just this week. And then at the end, we have an exhibition gallery that is called the Forest Intelligence, where we show initiatives of Spanish public and private industries regarding the SDGs. We call it the Forest of Intelligence, and we are showcasing many themes like oceans and seas, forest, sustainability, food, and so on. This will be the look and feel. We are, for the first time in our history, working in the olfactic dimension of the pavilion. So the pavilion, the forest will smell of forest, and you will smell of Spain, and we'll have some surprises throughout the pavilion. We'll have a perfume, and it will be our institutional present. So people will get, our VIP visitors will get a bit of the smell of wood smell of Spain. We are having some startups. We are having the Hyperloop. There's been a Spanish initiative that it was presented by our minister last week. We will have it there. And we will have a tree called the Tree of Balance, because we want at the end that you will get, the visitor will get some questions regarding how they live. And well, depending on their answers, the tree will flourish or will die, so people can understand the importance of their individual decisions, and that we all have an impact in the world. We'll live with a small area called Spain, a country to live in, because people really empathize with our country, and we want just to just make everyone want to visit us. And just for a summary, for our country, Spain, our national day would be the 2nd of February of 2022. So that will be the day we'll have a more institutional presence, and we're working in a super interesting week. We're having some comunidades autónomas visiting the Expo. We will have the weeks. We're having a super strong culture program, bringing dance, concerts, and all that we will disclose soon. And we are also working in some in innovation. We're working in some activities regarding women. We're working with the Women Dubai Chamber of Commerce. We want to bring our business. And well, here you have the Day of Spain. And we want to, as this is a great example of SDG 17 alliances, we will have to face the problems of the world all together. We want to have everyone in. It's going to be a showroom of Spanish brands. We have super interesting sponsors that we're having the best furniture, we're having the best materials, we are having the Hyperloop, we are having sustainable energy. We are having a great culinary zone. We're having our shop. We will be a forum of debates of many activities within the whole Expo, and in our pavilion we have some majlis, and we're working with some corporates as well to have a second life for the pavilion. We are really looking forward to the doors opening in the Expo, because this is really it's been a great and super interesting challenge, and we're really looking forward to welcome all of you in the Expo. Thank you very much.
Christina, thank you so much for that very, very interesting, very impressive presentation. There's a lot that we've learned today. It's the first time I hear about the Spanish Pavilion, and I wish you and your team all the best for the next for the Expo.
Thank you very much.
Please, I request all the Expo speakers to stay online. We will now open the floor to questions. We have approximately 7 to 8 minutes. I invite your questions, ladies and gentlemen. I think, Ines, you had a question already from one of our attendees. They wanted to ask Niels how long one should budget, how much time to visit the Dutch pavilion comfortably. And I think after that, the next question would apply to Christina as well, your opinion as well.
Yeah. This is Niels. Our guest experience will take less than 20 minutes from the waiting area, and we like to keep it as like Spain as well, as short as possible till call it the end. And depends on if you take something in the restaurant or buy a present in the shop, that it will take longer, but the normal experience will take less than 20 minutes.
Will there be someone to conduct a guided tour around the pavilion, Niels, from the pavilion?
If needed, for the daily visitor, they can do it themselves. But for groups, we can make a guided tour through the pavilion and also see the business lounge. And maybe it depends on the group. If it is, for example, people in the construction or technical part or art, we can do a private tour also back of the house, so they can see a little bit more.
Great, thank you so much. Christina?
Yeah, for visiting our pavilion, as I explained, we have our plaza, our square. You can walk around, okay, so you can be there as much or as little as you want. For the exhibition downstairs, I would say the film is 7 minutes. You can see it in 20 minutes, half an hour. We really encourage the visitors to see it slowly, because well, you can read as much as you want, or you can read as little as you want. But let's say in half an hour, you can see it. When you leave, you pass through the shop. So we'll have very interesting offer. So maybe they will just want to take some of the things, and you will also walk through the restaurant, so you can make the decisions if it's lunchtime or whatever, if you're going to stay around. But I would say that in half an hour you can have a good sense of what Spain is offering. Yeah. Regarding the visits, for the regular public, there won't be visits. There will be hostess around, so you can ask them. But yes, we have also some VIP hostess that they will, if there is business groups or things like that, we can organize groups for them. We also are having some relations with some other pavilions, so we can also, if we have some special visits from Spain or whatever, we can organize a whole day in the expo with the highlights we think that it would be interesting for them to visit. And also if they are like engineers or architects or something like that, we can organize some tailor-made visit. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Mark, I think the next question is for you. There have been some questions from our guests asking for approximately how much time or how many days do you suggest for someone to see the expo in its entirety?
Oof, that's a difficult question, Shantanu. I think, I mean, we're looking at our ticket categories. I mean, we have a 1-day ticket, we've got a 3-day ticket. We even have a seasonal ticket, meaning that you can come and go throughout the 6-month period. But for most international visitors coming to the destination, I think a 1-day and a 3-day is probably the most relevant. I would say where possible, definitely 3 days would give you a good taste of what to expect. But bearing in mind, we have 192 pavilions, each of them showcasing the very best of what they have in terms of their own programming. Then we also have to complement that Expo's own programming. It will be very difficult to see everything comprehensively in those 3 days, but I would say it gives you a good basis to, and for a lot of people, they will have their bucket list. I mean, you will before going to the expo, you'll want to see your own country pavilion. You may want to visit on a specific day where a performer it will be, performing. So I think, yeah, there's a 1-day or 3-day. If you're an expo enthusiast, get a seasonal pass and then come back as many times as you want. That would be the best case scenario. We want you to come back more than once.
Excellent.
Mark, Mark, one more question. What about children? What is to do for children? So if there's a family to come and visit.
Sure. I mean, the expo is a great family proposition because we call it edutainment. So it's both educational, but also very entertaining. So when you're going through some of these pavilions, it's very interactive. So think about it as a futuristic museum. You get to learn, you get to participate. You may be asked to do challenges. In terms of the youth programming, we have various different programming, from basic magic shows and entertainment to performances, as I say. There's even things around health and wellness to get the kids involved. They might be involved with some sort of sporting activities. And the benefit is if you're coming as a child and you're under the age of 5, it's actually free of charge. So there are packages and tickets available for kids, and definitely the programming. I mean, you'll want to bring your children along 100%. And I think the big question that a lot of people ask is, when are we going to have this events or program, the calendar? So we should be hopefully having a first draft made available in the next month or so, which will give you a bit of an indication in terms of who are the performances, who are the acts, on what day can I see this? And then throughout the next few months, we will be unveiling more and more, but we should at least have an initial draft to showcase soon.
Great, thank you, Mark. There are a couple of follow-up questions for you, Mark. Some of them have asked, what are the daily schedules, the open and close timings? And there's one interesting question about if advance bookings are required for the events.
So to answer the first question, it's really a day and night proposition. So if I'm not mistaken, the doors open at 10 o'clock in the morning and they run up until midnight. And then on the weekends, it actually extends even further, if I'm not mistaken, until 1 o'clock in the morning. So you can literally spend the whole day there, from morning, afternoon, all the way up into the evening. And the unique thing is, I'd say in the morning, you probably want to go around all the pavilions, and then at night you can enjoy the social, the nightlife, have an amazing dinner. I mean, the site is a non-dry venue, so you can get the full F&B experience, and then you can enjoy a show. But yeah, 10 till midnight during the week, and then it's extended on the weekends. And then in terms of the actual, you were saying about the schedule.
That's right.
So the schedule we have these special days already available now, which I showcased in the presentation, as well as the thematic weeks and international days. So we already have some dates confirmed, but the full program, as I was saying earlier, will be unveiled in phases. For now, we don't know which TED Talk will be or presenter will be coming. For now, we don't know which performer will be coming, but we will be making announcements very, very soon. As I say, we're 6 months to go, so a lot of these announcements will be coming to fruition shortly.
Thanks, Mark. Do we have any other questions for the
Well,
expert?
Shantanu, there's a very good question from Monique. She's asking, what is the extra USP for using Orient Tours to book the Expo? So maybe you or Sarah can explain that? Because
Sure,
otherwise people will book online. Yeah.
There will be several opportunities for that DMCs that are resellers, authorized resellers, will be able to provide. The first and most important one is to create the right image, to do the branding, to position yourself as a reseller. And in that, a reseller like us can help you. When you sign up with us as an authorized partner, we send your name to the Expo. We authorize you to use Expo's marketing materials subject to their terms and conditions. You're able to start doing the marketing using their logo and other collateral that Expo will provide.
Shantanu, sorry to interrupt. That's not what the question is. The question is for the travel agent that we provide special packages around the Expo, including all our USPs, like the transfers, make sure that you don't have to queue for the tickets. That is more the answers that we're looking for. So what else that we can provide?
I understand the question. I was starting from the beginning, because as I'm aware, there are quite a few guests today on the webinar who have not worked with us before. So I was saying that there's a benefit to working with a DMC that is a reseller for Expo tickets, and that's the first benefit. Obviously, we already have packages for the Expo. We are 6 months out. There are a lot of hotels that are still gauging the reaction. They're still preparing their budgets. So in general, not every hotel has an Expo rate or an Expo package ready. But if you have a specific inquiry for a type of hotel or for a certain area or a certain category of hotel, like a beach or a city or a 5-star or a 4-star or a hotel apartment, in case you're planning to stay for longer, you're coming with families, you can reach out to us directly or through our representatives, and we can custom make the packages for the Expo for you. That will give you the benefit of pricing. It will give you the benefit of advanced purchase for the tickets so that you don't stand in line. There are some options which we will discuss at a later date, which would allow you to gain access to certain number of pavilions faster, like a skip the queue. There will be a limit to those, how many you can do in a day. And there'll also be a limit to, so for example, there might be just 4 or 5 pavilions that you could book a fast track ticket for as part of your ticket. And then when you finish those 5, you can then on the spot, through our help, you could then book 3 or 4 more if you have time during that day to see some more pavilions. So we will be able to share that information with you a little later. Any other questions?
Shantanu, could you just explain why nobody joined the pavilion?
I'm sorry, your voice is breaking, Barbara. I'm not sure if it's my end or your end.
You're not understanding me?
I can't hear you very clearly, Barbara.
Very clearly. Is it better now when I talk higher?
Yeah, I just got the last part. Could you say that again?
It's just why the German pavilion was not introduced.
Well, the Portuguese, the German, the Belgian, there are quite a few pavilions. We've only had time for the main expo information and 2 other pavilions today.
Okay.
And so I'm sure that we'll be able to bring them on board for the next one.
Okay, very good.
So if there are no more questions, let's move on to the next presentation. We now resume with UAE's homegrown luxury hospitality brand, Address Hotels and Resorts, with a collection of 12 hotels, including the crown jewel Armani Dubai, in some of the most scenic locations of downtown Dubai, around the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. Please welcome Tulin Ozkan from the Cluster Leisure Sales team to take us on a tour. Merhaba, Tulin.
Merhaba. Hello, good morning to all participants and good afternoon to everyone in Dubai. First of all, I would like to thank to Shantanu and Orient team for allowing us to present our products in this beautiful event, actually. I will not give you a presentation because it's quite big, talking about more than 160 pages. So definitely Orient team will be providing you all the information, images and details about our hotels. But I'd like to give you a brief idea who is Emaar Hospitality Group, what we are doing, which brands we have, and what is our role in the Expo. So first of all, I'm standing in front of the tallest freestanding building in the world. It is the center of downtown Dubai. For the ones who has never been to Dubai, this is the city center of our beautiful Dubai town. With the Dubai slang, it's also called Emaar town. Because when you will look around all those skyscrapers, you will see this brand Emaar on the top of them, which is happening in some other parts of the town as well. Which brings me to the first topic about the Emaar, who we are. We are one of the biggest real estate property developer in United Arab Emirates, the biggest holding of Dubai. And this company is part of the Forbes top 20 list as all around the world top real estate property developer. But Hospitality Group is part of the business, plus to entertainment, media, and many other channels that Emaar is actively doing business. And under the Hospitality Group, we have several hotel brands, 22 different hotels in United Arab Emirates, and 3 different hotels right now actively operating in Egypt. Very soon, we will have more developments in Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and hopefully very soon in Europe. So what is our role? What is our fame in the hospitality part? We are the leading brand of the city hotels. When I say city hotels, please don't consider it as corporate business. More than 80% of our business is leisure, and Orient Tours is a great partner of us in that sense, supporting us on since very long years, actually. Our hotels are under 4 different brands so far. Armani Hotel Dubai, which is located inside the Burj Khalifa, is the only Armani brand purely designed and developed by George Armani himself. We are offering Italian hospitality directly inside to Dubai. It's of course very unique, very special experience, and this is our the designers offer in the overall collection. When it comes to our second brand, Address Hotels and Resorts, it is probably our one of the most popular one as a 5-star local products. And behind me, you're seeing a lot of Address products actually. They are offering you one of the best Burj Khalifa views, very sophisticated designs, amazing, unique experiences in Dubai. Of course, Dubai is giving you a lot of opportunities, many different spots that the guests can stay and experience the town. But especially for the first timers, you have this checklist that you have to follow, like visiting Burj Khalifa, going at the top, and then going to Dubai Mall, which is the world's largest shopping mall. We are talking about more than 1,200 shops inside, and then watching the world's largest fountains, which is again behind me in front of the Burj Khalifa. So once you are staying in downtown, you're just clicking 3 of them already. And staying in the center of the town, of course, it gives easy access to reach out anywhere you would like to go in the town. When it comes to our 4-star collection, it's under the Vida Hotels and Resorts. This is our very young, very well-being, healthy-friendly products. Plus to downtown region, we have several different Vida brands located in Creek Harbor side and Emirates Hill side. Plus we have one more address hotel located in the marina, which is the world's biggest man-made marina. So our collection is very wide, very big. After me, my colleague Bernie will be presenting you the Rove hotels, which is again part of the Emaar Hospitality Group collection. But back into my collection for Expo, what we are doing? Well, we are the proud sponsor and the only hospitality sponsor of the Expo 2020 as a hotel collection. We will be having our own hospitality tower in the Expo site, and we will be collaborating with our partners like Orient Tours, where we will have our own club lounge area, plus event spaces. And of course, there will be bundled tickets and many more offerings. Right now, we are at the end stage of our preparations. Very soon, our partner Orient Tours will be extending you all our offerings, how you can host your guests or how you can arrange some events in the Expo site by using our hospitality tower. But other than this, of course, we are getting prepared for this great show, not just for the Expo spot, also in our hotels, because we know that it will be a very high demand by all around the world. Already during the COVID times, we are hitting full occupancies with all our hotels. And I believe Expo will be rocking from all the citywide. One additional point, even we are known by city hotels, we have new members of our collection. The first resort hotel of our collection is opened this year, Address Beach Resort at the JBR set. And we opened our Northern Emirates products for the first time this year. So Vida Al Quwain is the first extension of it. So we are getting bigger and we will have more and more hotels that we'll be offering to our guests in the near future. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Meanwhile, Orient Tours knows us very well. They are very familiar with our products. They'll be happy to assist you for any of your requests as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tulin. That's an amazing view you brought us today. I'm sure that especially our guests from Germany will be really envying you today because they're snowed in, I believe. We'll wait for Bernie to come on before we ask questions we'll take questions for the destination. But now, moving on.
Shantanu, you don't have a screen.
Here you go. Now it's time to bring in Rove Hotels, a funky brand for the young at heart. Representing this fun chain is a cool and young ambassador, Bernard Kamau. Jambo Bunny.
Shantanu, thank you very much. Very nice introduction. Thank you, Tulin, as well. Fantastic introduction. I hope you can all see me. I'll share my screen as I have a short presentation for you guys as well. A moment. Okay, I hope you can see that. So it says, welcome to Rove Hotels, and I'm glad to take this opportunity to present our fantastic, cool brand of hotels for you all. And here we go, and we can kick it off. So what makes Rove tick? The way I want you to think about Rove Hotels is that we are almost like a base camp. So imagine Dubai as a mountain or a destination as a mountain. You will always need to go back to your base camp to regroup, to rest, to recover, and then the next day go out and explore. So think about Rove Hotels as an inspiring base camp for the modern day explorers. We're also very well connected. So we have fantastic central locations across the city and always close to, it could be either a metro or a bus stop or anywhere that you can have a ease of connection throughout the city. We have fantastic, thoughtful amenities in the hotel. So in a further slide, I'll explain that a little bit more. And I'm actually sitting in a Rover room. So at the end of the presentation, I'll walk you through what one of our rooms look like. We are also Rover centric. So whenever I say Rover, this is our language, our Rove language to refer to guests. So as soon as you walk inside a Rove hotel, you're no longer a guest, you'll be referred to as a Rover. So we always keep the customer, keep the guest, keep the Rover in mind in our approach. We also think green, which means sustainability is something that's very dear to us, and we take it very, very seriously. And additionally, probably the most, at least for me, a very, very important point is that we're a local homegrown brand. So as Tulin has explained, we are part of the Emaar ecosystem of hotels, and we sit in the mid-market. And we have fantastic local knowledge, so which is why we have fantastic hotels spread across the city. Whenever you come into our hotels and you speak to one of our Rove stewardess or our hotel staff, they'll be able to give you fantastic local knowledge of what's happening in Dubai and what's the best things to do. Finally, we're also very artsy at heart. So again, we have very unique, funky interiors. All Rove hotels will have a basic blueprint. So whenever you go inside one Rove hotel, you will understand what the rest of the Rove hotels are. But each hotel is also individualized because its art and its interior design is localized to that specific region where the hotel is located. So what makes us different? So as a Rover, you have complimentary late checkout till 2 p.m. irrespective of what time you arrived into the hotel. We have fantastic 24-hour meeting spaces and co-working areas in the hotel. Let's move my screen here. Yes, we have a beautiful concept, which I don't think many other hotels in the region have, which is our 24-hour laundromat. Obviously, you can still give your laundry to the hotel, but if you're trying to be a little bit more economical, you can actually do it yourself. Which is quite nice, and it draws a large number of people there to the laundromat, not even to do the laundry, but to take cool pictures because it looks very, very nice. Rove Hotels, we have one main restaurant, which is called The Daily, which can be described as your friendly neighborhood hangout. So we have a generic menu across all Rove Hotels, but then each Rove Hotel will have an individual or a unique neighborhood menu as well. So depending on which hotel you are, you'll have a slightly different dining experience. Another fantastic unique selling point is that we have our 24-hour shopping boutique convenience stores in most Rove hotels. So this is fantastic. So if you arrive to the hotel and you forget something as basic as perhaps your toothbrush or toothpaste, you can easily get that at the lobby of hotel without venturing too far out, especially maybe if it's your first time to Dubai. And on top of that, because it's a convenience store, you have a large variety of F&B options. So usually in a hotel, you could be just restricted to the in-room dining menu, which is nice in most hotels. But if you just wanted a bag of chips or a Kit Kat or perhaps just a little bit of milk, you can easily get that at the convenience store. Beautiful 24-hour workout spaces with Techno Gym, which I believe is an Italian brand. Again, it's open 24 hours a day. You just access that with your key card and you're ready to go. And then we have fantastic self-service locker rooms. So being a mid-brand of hotels, there's two basic services that we don't provide. And the first one is we don't actually have an official concierge department. So as such, in terms of storage, we provide these locker rooms that you can keep your luggage there, either pre-arrival, if your room may not be ready, or post-arrival. So if you have checked out already and maybe your flight is not till later on in the evening, you can use the storage room. But what we tend to find is that people use that for shopping. So our rooms are not very large, so you can keep your shopping in the locker rooms as well. Now, some of the hotels that we have, this slide can be a little bit intimidating, but it shows you the growth of our brand. So we'll start with the top left-hand corner where we have the Rove Downtown. Rove Downtown is our flagship hotel. It's right next to the Burj Khalifa in the Dubai Mall. I believe Tulin was in one of those balconies on the building on the right-hand side, just next to the Burj Khalifa with a fantastic view. So it goes to show how close we are at the downtown area with 420 rooms. The next hotel is Rove Emaar Beach. This is our latest hotel that we've just opened, 366 rooms, which is where I'm sitting right now and where I'll show you a quick tour of the room. And then we move on to Rove City Center, which is in the Dera area, very close to the Dubai International Airport with 270 rooms. Rove Healthcare City, located in an area called Bur Dubai or in Dubai Healthcare City. So it's quite a corporate location where we have 286 rooms. Moving on, we have the Rove Trade Center, again, 270 rooms located right next to the Dubai World Trade Center. So maybe you may have had guests or customers who have come to Dubai for the purposes of exhibitions. And this is a fantastic hotel because it's right next to it. And then we have the Rove Dubai Marina, which is very, very popular, especially with our European rovers. 384 rooms, great location right next to the beach. You have to walk to the beach, so it's not at the beach itself, but inside the heart of the marina. So a fantastic location. And then our largest hotel to date, which is Rove at the Park, which has a fantastic location because it's located in Dubai Parks and Resorts, which is right in between Dubai and Abu Dhabi. 579 rooms, as I had mentioned. And for Expo purposes, this is the closest hotel along with the Rove Dubai Marina to the Expo site, excluding the Rove Expo, which is inside the site, but there's a slide separately for that. And then moving on, we have Rove City Walk. This hotel is opening, so it's not yet open. We're looking at September of this year to open it, so just before the Expo launches. And there we'll have 566 rooms. So again, that will be our second largest hotel. That will be a good alternative to the Rove Downtown. So it's literally just across the road from the downtown area in an area called City Walk. So this gives you a nice visual of where our hotels are located. So as you can see, you have a fantastic map of Dubai. From the extreme right-hand side, you'll have the Rove City Center, which is right next to the airport, as I had mentioned. And then moving along with the healthcare, the trade center, and Rove Emaar Beach, where I'm actually sitting right now, as I've said probably 3 or 4 times already. I'm too excited about this hotel. And then you have the downtown area. And then as you can see, if you move further up, you have the Rove Dubai Marina. And on the extreme left-hand side, you'll have Rove at the Park. And then the third image at the bottom is where you have the Expo site, which is right here if you can see my mouse. So the Expo site is there. You have Rove at the Park right here and the marina. So these 3 hotels are key, especially for convenience sake for Expo purposes. And my final slide is obviously just to share with you all the fantastic news. I'm sure, well, I hope most of you have heard. Rove will have the only on-site hotel at Expo 2020. At this present moment, because it's not yet the 15th or 16th of May, I'm not officially allowed to share too much information yet. So we're just about a month too early for me to release a bit more information, but just to let you know that yes, we're very happy and glad to announce that we will have a Rove hotel at the Expo site. And as you can see, it's right at the heart, and the dome building there, that's called the Al Wasl Plaza, which is the central area and very close to the metro as well. So there is a metro that will lead you to the Expo site. So I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll give you a quick walkabout. I'll show you what a standard Rover room looks like. So you have the main entrance right here. So you have the main door with your evacuation plan. And this is what our bathrooms look like. So very nice and spacious, as you can see. And I'll actually step inside the shower with you. You can see it's very, very spacious. And you have the option of the rain shower, which is above me, and the actual handle right here that you can hold. And moving along, I'll show you the actual room. So very nice, beautiful, clean design. One unique thing is the bedding that we have at Rove Hotels. So you can see here, there's actually 2 separate beds. So this can be opened up and unzipped, and it can be a twin-bedded room. You have a convenient storage here. You have your safe. You can do your laundry over here, and you have a mini fridge right there. What's quite nice as well, fantastic technology. We have the latest Samsung TVs. As you can see here, we have a sofa bed. So every single room will have a sofa bed, which is quite nice. And then you have your coffee tea making facility right here. And for people with lovely long hair like me, your hair dryer right here. And the highlight is the fantastic view. So I'm at Rove La Mer Beach. So this is the beach view that we have at the hotel. And fantastic weather as well, I can promise you that. So I hope you can. So where you can see the sunbeds, that's actually the area that's allocated exclusively for Rove Hotel guests. And down there is the main restaurant, along with the swimming pool. And so that's it. That's my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. And if there's any other questions, feel free to let me know.
Amazing, buddy. Thank you so much. As you can see, I'm outdoors now. We've got the Orient Travel building behind us. We are the largest DMC in Sharjah, obviously. We're the oldest in the UAE. And as our CEO, Mr. Asim, mentioned earlier, Orient Travels is a significant part of the group. They have the corporate travel management. They are the largest private corporate travel management company in the Arabian region. We've got the DMC division, which is Orient Tours. We have Orient Cargo, which is the logistics hub with their own warehousing. And now we're going to talk a little bit about Orient Tours. Introduce you to my colleague, Sarah Duque. She is our manager for products and business development. Welcome, sir.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah, and I'm the manager of product development and guest services from Orient Tours. Let me take you up to the office and show you a bit more. So let's go up. In the meantime, when I bring you up to the office, let me just give you a little bit of story about Orient Tours. So Orient Tours was the first DMC that was founded in the United Arab Emirates. That was already in the year 1982, which of course, if you know, for this country, is such a long time ago. Yeah, what else is important about Orient Tours? Orient Tours, we do have our own fleet of vehicles. We do have sedans, limousine vehicles. We do have our own 4x4s, minivans, up to 50-seater buses. Oh yeah, and here, see, we have won quite some awards in the last years, World Travel Awards and other awards. Yeah, apart from having our own fleet, we do also have 2 of our own desert camps. So 2 desert camps on our own, that gives not only us, but also you the flexibility to have really, to get really for your clients what you need and what they require. In the office, we do have multilingual staff, as well also our tour guides speak lots of languages. Well, let me hand over for now to Shantanu, and he's going to show you a little bit more of our office.
Welcome back. I'd just like to quickly show you the office. We have 2 floors. The upper floor is administration, accounts, operations. The floor here is the team that will be in contact with you. Let's start with the contracting team. This is the team that will load promotions, hotel rates in the system. Then we've got the reservation team. This is Rohini. She's our FIT leisure expert. This is Yasser. Yasser is our MICE groups expert. And that gentleman there in the corner, this is Madhu. He's our cruise manager. As you all know, we have no cruises for the last 18 months. So Madhu helps us with the reservation team. This is the team that looks after our partners from Africa and Asia. This is our colleague Laura. She is in charge of the China market. And last but not the least, this is our team that looks after inquiries and quotations and requests from local tour operators and DMCs, because we also act as a wholesaler. So when DMC requires a customized experience, they're able to talk to us, we're able to curate a program for them. And that's how we've been operating for the last 30 years. Over to Sarah.
Yes, that's me again. What is the nice thing about Orient Tours? Well, what I personally like most is that we always try to be a bit different. Did you know about our signature tours? Well, Orient Tours was and is the only DMC in the entire country that offers a food trail tour. It's a walking tour in the old part of Dubai. It starts towards the sunset time, late afternoon, and you will try all the Middle Eastern food. So not only food of the region, but as well from Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, and as I said, of the Gulf region. So that is a tour in small groups with a tour guide, but it's not a tour, you know, when a tour guide with the microphone in the front of the bus and guests don't dare to ask any questions. It's a tour where you feel like you're out with your friends at nighttime and just having fun. So the guests, they like to ask more personal questions and get a better insight in the country. We do also have a full day Dubai tour because we know that mainly our European guests and clients, they like to always know more about the culture, tradition, history, religion, cuisine of the country. So like 2 years back, we introduced our Emirati Impressions Tour, which is a full day Dubai tour where you visit a mosque, you visit the Etihad Museum, you have a local Emirati lunch, and so on. In regard to off-road products, we do also have a sunrise safari. Of course, we do have all the classical tours like the afternoon desert safari, but we have a sunrise safari for the early birds. But I promise you, you won't regret having woken up early. We just take you in the 4x4 to the desert. We roll out the carpets in the middle of the desert. You will have a beautiful picnic breakfast and see a falcon show, see the sunrise, and have a short dune drive. Yeah, so this is a little bit of ideas that you can do a bit different with us from Orient Tours. Last but not least, of course, due to the pandemic, we have also have taken steps of precaution in regard to safety and hygiene, not only of our valuable guests, but as well as for our team. So we do have all our frontline staff undergoing PCR tests regularly. We do sanitize all our vehicles after each and every single use. We do temperature checks of our staff and our guests pick up or every day for our staff in the office. Yeah, so that's it about Orient Tours, I believe. And I would like to give the video back to my colleague, Shantanu.
Thank you very much, Sarah. That is a very interesting piece of information that you shared with our partners and our visitors. With that, we have come to an end to all the presentations. I would now like to open the floor for questions about the hotels, about the destination, about Orient Tours. So let's have them. Back to my office.
Hi, Shantanu. I don't think there are many questions. Many questions were there that people ask when we are organizing a fam trip for the Expo as well. When can we go? So I hope we have enthusiastic a lot of our agents at the moment.
I see some questions have come in. If we have Portuguese-speaking guides, there are Portuguese-speaking guides available in the destination. We don't have them in-house, but we work closely with them whenever we require them. They are licensed by Dubai Tourism. Some of them are also licensed with the other Emirates in Abu Dhabi and Sharjah. So we are definitely able to provide them to you.
I want to add, Shantanu, please, that we are also in touch with Dutch-speaking guides and French-speaking guides. Yes.
All major European guides. We have Italian, French, and Spanish-speaking guides in-house and German-speaking guides in-house, but Dutch and Portuguese not yet. Hopefully soon.
Yes, but we know them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I think no more questions for any of the hotels, for address, for Rove. I know some of you have asked questions about if you will be able to book the Rove at the Expo Center. Bernie, I'm not sure if you've already mentioned anything about this.
Yes, sure. At the moment, we're open for sale from mid of May. So you'll be able to book that either directly on rovehotels.com or on Expo, the official Expo site at the moment. We're still in discussions to see if that hotel can be used in terms of B2B purposes, because there's the Expo site is quite unique because it is a very secure site. So imagine it like almost like an airport. So there's a lot of security that would be imposed in that hotel. So once we finalize that with the Expo, we'll understand how we'll be able to sell it. Officially from the 15th, for the hotel specifically, you can buy that on the hotel website or on Expo website, 15th of May.
Excellent. Thank you, Benny. Any questions for Tulin, for the address hotels, for the downtown? Well, you have our contacts, you know our representatives. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out after the webinar. We will be sharing the links to all the presentations with you later today or by tomorrow for sure. And now it gives me great pleasure to come to a part of the webinar that I think would really excite you. We have two amazing gifts to give away, courtesy Address Hotels and Rove Hotels. Wally, if you could please put up the first slide. That's a 2-night complimentary stay at the Rove Dubai Marina, valid for 2 guests, including breakfast for 2 nights. This will be combined with Orient Tours offering return transfers from Dubai International Airport, a shared afternoon desert safari for 2 guests, and a shared Dubai City tour for 2 guests. We're going to do the raffle now. I'm going to invite my colleague, Sarah, to pick out one name from the bowl. Please, go ahead, open it.
So let me read this out. The winner of this amazing prize is Liliana Ferreira, Madeira Connection. Congratulations from the entire team of Orient Tours. Please raise your hand if you're hopefully still on board of this webinar. And yes, Liliana is still there. Liliana, please be in touch with Jordi. I believe Jordi must have invited you. and we will send you the voucher for your price.
Wally, if you could have the second slide, please. And for the second prize of the day, we have a complimentary 2-night stay at the address Fountain Views for 2 guests, including breakfast for 2 nights. Again, Orient Tours will provide return airport transfers from Dubai International Airport, shared afternoon desert safari, and a shared half-day Dubai City tour for 2 guests. Both vouchers are valid from October 2021 for a whole year. Sarah, please do the honors.
Certainly, Shantanu. And the second winner is Maria Jose Rosado, Flight Travel. Congratulations to the second winner of our webinar. So please raise your hand. Hope you're still here, Maria. So Maria, please also get in touch with the person who has invited you for this webinar, and we will send you the voucher for your price. I would like to say thank you from my side for attending the webinar, and I'm giving the video back now to Shantanu.
So we are waiting for Shantanu. I see that there is maybe a little disconnection. I want to thank everybody for the great presentation. Maybe Sarah is able to say something. From my side, to all the Dutch and the Belgian, I will send you all kind of information about the presentation, and let's go for it and let's book.
Hello, let me say something too. I'm Jordi from Spain, and I just would like to thank you, all of you who are making this possible, and as well to all the attendees, especially my colleagues from Spain and Portugal. A big hug to everybody.
I think he got disconnected. We'll just wait for a minute.
I would just like to say thank you to everybody. I think we've come to the end of the presentation. Something is going not well. So I take the honors now because we can't hear Barbara at the moment. Thank you for your time, and thank you all the panels, Mark and Bernard and Christina and Niels for their presentation. I hope we have put a lot of ideas in your heads, and Jordi, Barbara and myself will happy to assist you to make everything happen, and that we have a great season starting from October this year, because I trust that everything will be fine again and we can travel safe soon, inshallah, as they say. Shantanu.
I'm back. I'm so sorry. We lost connection, some Wi-Fi problem here. All of us dropped the connection actually. So I hope you got that last bit. I was inviting especially our guests from Belgium, Holland, Germany, Switzerland to make a stronger attempt at our next webinar to win something really interesting. So look out for that announcement. And that brings us to the end of an absolutely fascinating, wonderful experience today, at least for me. I hope it has been for you too. So thank you once again from all of us here at Orient Tours. Thank you to our reps. Thank you to Mark, to Niels, to Christina, to Tulin and Bernard for being here on the show. And your participation, your preparation was invaluable to making this a relatively smooth webinar. So thanks once again, and have a great rest of the week.
Thank you so much.
Everybody, goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bernard. See you soon.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye.